September 18th. I am Bruce Leonard, and this is Bruce Leonard Leans Left. While it's still legal. Still legal today, but we are rapidly approaching a place where it might not be. I don't know if you, I'm sure you have heard because it's all over the fucking place. That Jimmy Kimmel was removed from the air by ABC because of a joke that he made. It wasn't even about Charlie Kirk. It's the fake outrage is what it is. And it's not even about the outrage. It's not even about what he said. It's about what the FCC commissioner said before that. The FCC commissioner said they can either sorry, Julie. Well, he says she meant to just tag me in the post Rachel Hurley shared, not my comment under it. What's up, Costello? Hey, do me a favor. I moved the bitrate to 8,000. Go check Twitch for me. See if it's working. Anyway. It's about what the FCC commissioner said before Jimmy Kimmel was removed from the air, okay? The FCC commissioner specifically said on Benny Johnson's show, Benny Johnson paid Russian show, by the way. That is a fact. Benny Johnson took Russian money as long with Tim Pool, and that's what funded their fucking podcast. So, anyway. That's neither here nor there. The FCC commissioner said on the air that they could do this the easy way or they could do it the hard way, which meant that they would put pressure on them from the FCC, which means threatening their licenses. And the other part of it that people don't understand, to say Twitch is running, yes, good. So 8,000 is the magic number. Does it look good? I don't know what the bit rate, it was up real high. Anyway, the point being, sound is good. So it looks good too. Okay, cool. So we're staying at 8,000, and now all 3 channels are live and on the air. Finally, if you're on Twitch and you had subscribed and you're getting a blank screen, I apologize. Although nowadays, it could just be just as easily that Trump decided to turn off my show. Because that's what will be next. Anyway. So, a person who follows my Facebook page, I'm not going to say their name because most people that follow my page probably already know who I'm talking about, but ran to the page to try to rub her fingers and face into me, saying that because I had said that Twitter and Facebook, etc., had the right to remove content if they wanted to, because, and I will explain the difference to you right now. When you sign up for Twitter, when you sign up for Facebook, you agree to a set of principles and rules in the agreement, subscriber agreement. Now, if I agree with those rules or not is an irrelevant discussion. You agree to those rules when you sign up. Therefore, if you commit an act on their platform that they consider to be against the rules, they can remove you. They can ban you like they did to me. Ban for life. And you didn't hear me complain too much about it because that's the rules. You're not constitutionally obligated to have a Facebook page. It's not written in the Bill of Rights. That now, if you want to revisit it, you want to add something to it, you could do that if the Congress wanted to. You could say everybody has a right to have a Facebook page, and Facebook cannot remove you. Blah 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 blah. But they've never done that. So therefore, the law and the rules apply in its current form, which means that Facebook, Twitter, etc., as a private company. Good. So, yes, Julia, very dense. She just wants to say that she's right about whatever. It's like that's her main motivation. And when she sees a glimmer, she fucking runs to it and goes, look! And I'm saying this is not the same discussion. It's not even close. It's not even in the same ballpark. It's not even the same sports. What you're talking about here is the federal government using the levers of power to control the output of a network, which is the press, which is specifically in the Constitution that the government should not abridge the freedom of the press. We all know that Trump doesn't give two fucks about the U.S. Constitution, and neither do these Republicans anymore. Because I just saw he wants all these red states to redraw their maps, to gerrymander their maps, because he's afraid that he's going to lose the congressional election in the midterm. So, rather than do the thing that everybody thought he was going to do, which is try to stop elections altogether and not have elections, he's chosen to try to cheat the game by redrawing every map that he can across all the states and gerrymandering minorities out of their voice. Yes, red Solo cup. There ain't no drink in it, though. It's just tea. Bring God back. Thank you for watching. Anyway, what is the line in the song? It's a party. Hey, it's Al. What's going on, bro? Anyway, let me get back to what I was talking about. So what he's doing is he's going to these red states and he's telling them, look, you're going to gerrymander your map, or else I'll start cutting you off of federal programs. I'm not kidding. Because Indiana didn't want to do it because they said, and it's a dangerous game that you're playing here. And the law states that they can only do it after the census. Well, they're not waiting for the census. Trump wants them to do it now so that he can have an advantage in a midterm election. So, Indiana was hesitant to do it. So the governor of Indiana said basically that the Trump administration called him and told him either you redraw this map or we'll start cutting you off agricultural programs and other things that the state needs. And basically he's threatening these states, which is exactly what he did to ABC. Now, there's a deeper level to the story about Jimmy Kimmel. Sinclair Broadcasting Group owns a bunch of TV stations across the country. Everybody knows they're conservative. If you look, what they do is they make canned propaganda for the right wing, and then they make all these channels run it at the same time. So it's a propaganda machine. It's a network. So there's rules about how many channels a company can own. Well, there's two major companies, and they both want to buy more channels, which would put them over the top of the rules of how many channels these companies can own. So what they need is the federal government's approval of this, and for the federal government to change the rules about how many channels they can own. Well, Trump knows this. They know this. So what they did was, the FCC told them, you'll do what we want, or we want to approve your deals. They're using the power of the federal government to coerce these networks and to remove content and personalities that they don't like. Now, you can call this a lot of things. And we all know what it is. This is authoritarian fascism. This is how it works. And now I don't know if you saw this. I just found this today, right before I came on. I'm going to read it to you because it's quite scary. The Department of Education has partnered with a slate of conservative groups, including Turning Point USA and Moms for Liberty, to create a nationalistic civics program. The Department of Education has announced a partnership with more than 40 right-wing conservative organizations and groups to create a nationalistic civics program for the 250th anniversary of the United States. According to a press release from Education Secretary Linda McMahon, the wrestling guru, the coalition will take bold steps to educate, inspire, and mobilize youth towards active and informed citizenship. The America 250 Civics Education Coalition will be overseen by the Education Department and spearheaded by the America First Policy Institute, a conservative think tank created after Trump left the White House in 2021. Groups involved in the coalition include Turning Point USA, the Heritage Foundation, Moms for Liberty, PragerU, and other right-wing conservative state and national organizations. The Education Department statement said the initiative is dedicated to renewing patriotism, strengthening civic knowledge, and advancing a shared understanding of America's founding principles in schools across the nation. The groups will participate in nationwide programs, including state tours, lectures, student competitions, and teacher summits. Now, I don't know. All I have to say is this. If they want you to stop calling them fascists and Nazis, the first thing they could do is stop doing shit that fascists and Nazis do, because that's what this is. This is Hitler Youth. Mussolini did this. Hitler did this. They nationalized the schools, and they put propaganda in the schools, and they teach kids what they want them to know. Now, I don't know if you can pull this off, like, fully, with the internet and everything, because people have access to information. Then that's the next thing that happens, is they'll start clamping down on the internet, what people can see and what they can't see. It's already happened. My friend who delivers to the store that I work at, truck driver, he said his friend's from Canada and his friend had 2 phones, and if you turn TikTok on both phones, they're not the same. So somebody in America is manipulating TikTok to what you can see and what you don't see. And I could tell just by, since I joined TikTok, the videos that I put up. Yes, Ken, it's all Project 2025 bullshit. Yes, that Trump knew nothing about. You know who the FCC guy is? He wrote the media chapter of Project 2025. Shocker. I don't know if you knew, they changed the Senate rules because they were having a hard time getting Trump's fucking unqualified bullshit nutlicker nominees through the confirmation process, right? So they changed the rules so that they could confirm multiple nominees at one time. So today, they voted to overturn the existing rules to bypass the 60-vote threshold for confirming nominees in batches. So today, Republicans confirmed 48 of President Trump's nominees in a single vote. And yesterday, they voted not to subpoena banks involved in the Epstein files. All Republicans, except for Thomas Massie. Even the ones that talk shit like Marge Green. None of them voted with the Democrats to try to unseal this. They're covering up the Epstein file. Now, why? I don't. You ask, you tell me. Especially since this was their mission in life for the last 10 years. They're going to get the power. They're going to expose the Epstein. Now it's like, they're going to vote to release Epstein. No. Let's look into the banks, the finance. No. There was $1 billion in suspicious transactions flagged in Jeffrey Epstein's bank accounts. And yet Kash Patel sat there yesterday and said that he did not traffic any sex trafficking to anyone else but himself. Well, where did that money come from? And why won't you subpoena the bank records so you can look into it? Because I've said this 1,000 times. These people are interested in nothing but power. That's it. They want power. Now they have it. They're not going to give it up. They're going to consolidate it, like Julie just said. Consolidation of power. This is what the left doesn't understand. Is that the right has united itself behind MAGA, and it's one thing. And they vote in lockstep on every single thing. While the left still quibbles and fights with amongst themselves, and you don't seem to understand. If you continue to do this and nitpick about who your allies are and who your allies aren't, it's left versus right now, and that's it. Because that's how they see it. And if you don't start seeing it like that, you're going to get rolled over and squashed. Period. Look at what's happening now. Trump has already committed at least 50 impeachable offenses. He's broken the law 100 times. He doesn't care about the law or the Constitution or your rights. He doesn't care about that. All he cares about is power and being like the people that he admires. Putin, Kim Jong, President Xi of China, people that autocratic power. That's what he wants. That's what he has, because the Republicans have capitulated. It's a machine. Julia says, I'm convinced that all the mega followers have the memory and attention span of goddamn gnats. Jesus fucking Christ, the brain rot is complete. Yes, well, it's that. It is that, but it's also what me and Daniele were talking about, the last time he was here, or, a couple times ago when he was here. What's up, John? Is these people don't have any principles. All the old conservative principles are out the window. Small government, stay out of my business, control of free speech. They don't care about free speech. They don't care about small government. They care about power. What you don't understand is, you might understand it, but I want to explain it to you one more time, as I've said it multiple times on this show. Barack Obama got elected, and the right lost their fucking minds. And they gave up on the Constitution right then. They said, if this is where the Constitution takes us, fuck it. It's because deep down inside, they're white supremacists. Racists. That's what this is all about. What do you think the Texas gerrymander is about? It's about silencing the Latino vote and the black vote. They seem to think this is the thing that might fuck them up, though, is because, like I said before, they're evil, but they're dumb. They're not real smart. So what they did was they drew the map with the last year's election, math. Well, the Latinos aren't going to vote for them again. I got news for them. They think that they're going to hold on to these Latinos. And it's not going to happen. They said what happened is Latinos voted in Latino representatives for themselves in the Congress. And this map is trying to eliminate that. Replace it with good white nut lickers, Basically, they're trying to silence. That's the thing that's funny. Is they're trying to silence their vote while still hoping that they'll vote for them. Which is, there's not a lot of logic in what they do. Because I said, the logic doesn't exist. Because like I said 100 times on this show, again, is these people are fanatics. They're what's known as fanatics. Some crazy person. A blue sky, nonetheless. Now, blue sky is supposed to be a liberal bastion, right? Where all of us lefties can hang out. And some crazy person on the blue sky yesterday started this whole thing with me about how This is all about so that eventually they could turn, or they basically said they didn't care about the Constitution and that the state needed to be wiped out so it could be replaced with a Catholic, something Catholic. I swear to God, that's what this person said. And when I said, "What about all the people that you killed to make this?" Said she was talking about how Catholicism was so great, and I said, "Well, what about Native Americans they killed? Because how they converted all the people to Catholicism? How'd they do that? By murder and coercion." that's how it happened. And she said, "Well, they just killed the non-believers." I said, "Oh, so you endorse murder?" Like, yes, if that's necessary. Oh. See, the mask is coming off of these people. They feel powerful now, and they don't feel like they have to hide what they really are. But yet, they still want to come on TV and pretend like, yeah, you can't call us fascists and Nazis, and, even though all we're doing is running the fascist and Nazi playbook. But you can't call us that because that's mean, or, it could cause violence. I got news for you. You know what causes violence? Oppression. See, they don't seem to understand that part. This kid, he didn't do nobody any favors by killing Charlie Kirk. This just made it way worse. Because they are fully radicalized now. They are fully fanatical. That's why it's funny when he calls people the radical left. Like, what you're doing is not radical? Come on, bro. It's pretty radical. Building concentration camps and shipping people off without due process, and coercing the media and removing personalities you don't like, taking over the schools to indoctrinate children, removing history from history because you don't like the history. These are all things that fascists and Nazis do. Yeah, you can't say that because, like I said, at all times the gaslight is up to 11. It's Spinal Tap 11 gaslight. They have obliterated the truth so hard that you might not never know what's true again, ever. You might not ever get it back, the truth. The truth is lost in the ether of all of this bullshit. So then they denied Trump the ability to fire the FCC governor, the Federal Reserve governor, and he was trying to fire for some trumped up charges that weren't even real. Right? They said, no, you can't fire her because these charges that you put against her, they're not real, right? So what'd he do? He ran to the Supreme Court. Now we're going to see the Supreme Court for real. If they allow him to fire this woman with no cause. The Federal Reserve, which is not supposed to be underneath the executive branch control in the first place. We're fully across the line. This Jimmy Kimmel thing is fully into fascism, bro. Fascism. Well, being sorry or not is not really the point. My point is, if he thought he was helping the situation, he's not helping it. He made it way worse. Not to mention all the weird shit, about the shooting itself, and the weird text messages that sound like they were written by your parents, not to 20-year-old gamer kids. That's the other part of it is, until all this evidence comes out in a real court. You're right, Alvin. Show me a problem, you will find a shitload of money. Yes. And that's what this is all about. Rich people and powerful conglomerates and corporations taking over the government. That's really what this is about. And Trump is driving that car for them. I've been saying this for a while. The real president is Peter Thiel. Nobody wants to talk about that. But Peter Thiel has his hand in every single thing that's going on. And these are all ideas that Peter Thiel has espoused for years and years and years. And J.D. Vance is Peter Thiel's personal creation. He plucked J.D. Vance out of obscurity. He gave him the money to go to Yale Law School or wherever the fuck he went. He gave him the cushy job at the venture capital company or wherever the fuck he worked, where everybody said he didn't even work. He just sat around on the couch. That's what I told him. He told him, don't do anything but prepare yourself to be the biggest fucking shit fucking peddler that you could fucking possibly be, the best salesman and professional liar, bootlicker, nutlicker. You will do what we say. And he does. With great passion and glee. These people have no principles, like I was saying before. The whole Kimmel thing is weird. Yes, because he wasn't fired. That's my point. What I was trying to tell. I said, the person I was arguing with, which I already knew was pointless. I tried to give up. I was like, you just want me to say you're right? Okay, you're right. Go home and leave me alone, because I'm not going to bang my head against the wall trying to convince you of something that you're not even going to listen to what I'm saying. But the truth is this. He wasn't fired for what he said. He was fired because Sinclair Broadcasting and the FCC said to them, you're going to fire him, or we won't approve your merger and change the rules for you to buy all these channels. So if you have business with the government and you're a big giant corporation, it's within, you need their cooperation. So he knows he can threaten these people. It's just like these states. They want to redraw the map. He says, well, I'll cut off your agriculture money. Or we'll come in primary. That's the other thing. He said, we'll come in primary everybody out of their seats. We'll install mega nutlickers. It's a machine. And it's a well-oiled one now. And it is fully in operation. Which is what I've been saying. There's only two ways out of this situation. Well, there's three. You could capitulate and lick the boots and just accept this fascist takeover of the government of the United States. That's the first option. Two, we could secede. We have, like what Marx said, a national divorce. We could cut this country in two and say the left wing can have half the country, the right wing can have half the country, and then we go our separate ways. And we see what happens. Or three, we have a civil war and we start killing each other. See, this is the conundrum that they're in, because I've said before. Yes, Ken, they're trying to exploit that Kirk. Yes, they are. 100% true. Yes, Alvin says it's true. What the fuck happened to Musk? It's funny, no matter how rich you are, if you don't play, you disappear. This crap is scary. Yes. And you see, he tried to stand up to him for a minute. Did you see that? And now he's back to pathetic groveling and bootlicking. He for a minute he tried. Remember, he said, I'm going to start a third party. I'm going to do all this other. You see, his problem is his whole empire is tied to federal money. It's the fact that he didn't realize that. And then he was like, I'm going to fight them. They're like, we could just cripple you in 1 second by canceling all these billion-dollar contracts that you have with the government. But see, they can't do that because, again, conglomeration. This time, the conglomeration works against them, because now Musk is the only company doing space stuff for the United States. So if they cut off Musk's contracts, they can't get to the International Space Station and back and all this other stuff. So they're like in a, what you call it, Mexican standoff, where like he hates them and they hate him, but they need each other. And they can't shoot their guns because they'll both die. It's like It's a madhouse, bro. The world that we're living in right now is an absolute shit show madhouse. Clown circus. Not to mention the sheer incompetence of these people. And their ability to lie constantly with no shame. There's no longer any shame for them to lie about every single thing. They live in a deluded fantasy world filled with lies and conspiracy theories. And today, he says, I'm going to designate Antifa a terrorist organization. Like, okay. Who's Antifa? Who are they? Where's their headquarters? Who's their leader? There isn't any. Antifa is not... Antifa is like anonymous, basically. It has no structure. It has no organization. They don't have meetings. It's a flash mob where people online go, there's going to be a bunch of Nazis over here. Let's go fuck with them. You know, and then they show up, fuck with Nazis. That's what Antifa is. It's not an organization by any means. But see, what he's going to do is use this designation to label people that he doesn't like as Antifa and declare them terrorists and go after them with the full weight of the federal government. It's about crushing the opposition. That's what the left doesn't understand in this country, that the left better get organized and better fucking unite together and stop arguing about, do you want trans people in sports or not? Or do you want this and that? And if you don't, you're one of them. And you know, it's like, no, that's not. We need to stop with the piddly quibbling. See, this is what I have to say to those people, okay? Because I had an argument with the left-wing chick who, you might have saw it if you followed my page. She was arguing because they said that they need to stop talking about trans people playing sports. That meant that they were selling out the trans community and they were fascists too. And you know, and you're like, you're the reason why we're in this situation. Because, first of all, the trans people are 1% of the population. Okay? Not a lot. We already had this discussion. There's like one of them in every state that wants to play sports. And you go, this is a national issue. It's a threat to everything that you ever, you know, like, and you're like, it's one person. Like, statistically, it's not a lot of people. So you're going to burn your country down over this? Let me ask you a question. You think that the fascists are more or less dangerous to trans people? What you're doing is putting them in more danger by allowing the fascists to get more power. While you quibble about some dumb shit about can they play softball or not. Personally, I believe it should be an issue that's handled locally. And every state and local governments can make their own decisions about who can play sports and who can't. And if you're a trans and you want to play sports, then you move to California or wherever they allow that to happen. The federal government has no place in it. Now, do I agree that trans people should play sports? Probably. You know, I don't think it's that big of a deal. That's what I'm saying. It's just like when Alabama plays like Ridley State, you know, and you see the score, it's like 78-0. You're like, whoa! These things happen sometimes in sports. You know, it's like, you really think a team having one trans person on a team would make it like, oh my God, sports, it's like, it's all rigged now. Yes, Alvin. Alvin says, kind of like the Bud Light can. Who cares? We need to unite as people, not beliefs. Exactly. Exactly. Well, see, America used to be a place where they said, that's what made America beautiful, is you can believe what you want, and we all live together. See, these people aren't interested in that. It's like I said, when Barack Obama got elected, they lost their fucking minds. They said, we're not going to live under a black president. No! Lost their minds. And they ain't came back. Ever since then, they went full on Nazi. That's when they embraced the alt-right and their actual Nazis and brought them into their movement because they knew they needed those votes to counter the votes of the minorities. And they knew they needed to start this podcast network so they can indoctrinate young people and get young people who didn't vote before to vote, because they need every vote they can get, because statistically speaking, white people are becoming a minority in this country. And that is what this is all about. They don't want to accept that. And even if we do become a minority, they want to retain the power of a majority. Now, how do you do that? You cheat like a motherfucker. Or you throw the Constitution out the window, which is basically what they're doing. I give them this. They were smart about it. And it wasn't Trump that did this. It was the Heritage Foundation and these other right-wing groups. They're the ones that stacked the Supreme Court. They're the ones that figured out. It's okay. This thing also is a little behind, I believe. I don't know how fast I get these comments. So it might be a small lag in the comment thread. But I will read them. I do read them. I encourage people to talk on the show. The reason for this show is to inform people, in case they don't know what's really going on, like I said. And most people don't really know about the situation under the surface of the Jimmy Kimmel thing. It's easy to convince people, oh, they just fired him because they didn't like what he said about Charlie Kirk. And if you go back and look, he didn't really say anything about Charlie Kirk. He made a joke about Trump. And like Julia said, he's been after Jimmy Kimmel for fucking 10 years now. He's explicitly said Seth Meyers and Jimmy Fallon are next. So I said they're not even hiding it anymore, what they're doing. They're using the power of the federal government to go after people they don't like and to suppress speech that they don't like. And they're going to try to erase history and indoctrinate children with these programs that I read to you earlier. Questel's watching on Twitch, so I guess it's still working. It didn't kick me off. I said, I guess 8,000 bits is the magic number. That's funny, because I said I've had this Twitch channel on for over a month now, or maybe a couple months, and apparently it hasn't worked. It worked in the very beginning, and then it just went black. And I can't watch all these channels while I'm doing the show, so I didn't know. Thank God for Questel. She was like, it's not working. So I lowered the bit rate, and it worked a little bit, and then it stopped again. And now it's on. So I'm going to keep it at 8,000. The quality hasn't suffered, right? It still looks and sounds good, she said. So now we're on another network. This show is now broadcasting on 3 channels at once. It's on YouTube, it's on Facebook, and it's on Twitch. Yes, good. So I said 8,000 is a magic number. It's weird too, because when I get the analytics for the streams, every time everything is green, says perfect or great, except for the bit rate. It's red and it says caution. I guess I should have lowered it for, yes, winning. What's going to happen is this show is finally going to catch on. Well, it has been catching on, I must say. I don't know, I said it last time. My views have been going up and up, and I'm starting to get comments from people that I didn't get that before. I think that somehow I cracked into the YouTube algorithm finally, because When I was busy taking care of my mom, I couldn't cut the clips and spread the show. And even these shows that I didn't promote jumped up to 100, over 100 views. So my viewership is going up again. And then now, today, my mom got the PICC line out of her arm, so I don't have to get up and IV her twice a day. So I'm off of that, thank God. That was hard, man. For the last 2 months, I had to get up early, way earlier, and then, I have to be working 6 in the morning, which I already got up early. I had to get up an hour earlier to hook my mom up to the IV so that I could unhook her before I went to work, because it takes an hour for it to drain out the bag. And so for the last 2 months, I've been getting up at like 3:30 or 4 in the morning, and nurse would be playing nurse to my mom, and then I have to get ready to go to work. It's been hard. And while still doing all this, but still working, doing my show 3 times a week, and now band practice once a week. I got a lot going on. Yeah, Alvin says, what happened to the good old days where comedians can make jokes about politicians was considered a compliment? Now we'll get you fired. What the fuck? Yeah. Well, because this isn't the America you grew up in, my friend. I've been trying to tell people this for a while now. 10 years more. That if you elect Donald Trump, this is what's going to happen. What you don't understand either is this machine has been financed by Russian money. Why do you think he loves Vladimir Putin so much? The Russians gave millions of dollars to this podcast company where Benny Johnson and Tim Pool do their shows. Tucker Carlson has been over there a bunch of times. Even Tucker Carlson is afraid now, and which I find humorous. Tucker Carlson, who's been a part of this all this time, just now is like, hey, wait a minute. What he's doing is un-American. Is that yes? And you helped this to happen. So go fuck yourself. Don't act all pissy about it now. You made this happen. Fox News jettisoned him like a fucking piece of trash. You know who said, don't you? Who did they put in his place? Jesse Waters, King Nut Liquor. Jesse Waters is the yes man of the highest order. He's just happy to be there because he's a talentless hack. Same as Greg Gutfeld. I can't stand both of them motherfuckers. I got so much hatred in my heart, I'd fight them both at one time. I gotta kick both your asses at the same time. You fucking pussies. All they are is a big mouth motherfuckers just run their fucking mouths. 24 hours a fucking day. They don't do a goddamn thing. Like Mark Wayne Mullen. Yes, Julia, Tucker's Russian cash cow must have dried up. Yes, exactly. But that's what I'm saying is they embraced this for years and years. Tucker was over there, remember? He was over there talking about how Hungary is so great and why can't we be more like this? Well, now we are. And he's like, hey, wait a minute. I'm beginning to doubt that Tucker Carlson is as intelligent as he presents himself to be, because if he did not see what was going to happen while you were helping this happen, you're a fucking useful idiot. It's like, it's unbelievable. This is going to affect each and every one of you. I love these Trump voters that think that sooner or later this isn't going to turn on them. Oh, it's going to. It already has, the farmers and shit. They're getting fucked right now. Then China ain't buying no soybeans. All the soybean farmers are broke. They all voted for Trump. The Supreme Court has agreed to hear this tariff case the beginning of November. And then, like I said, between this firing of the Federal Reserve Governor and this tariff case, because legally, there is no basis for these tariffs. None. have tariffs clearly belongs in the Congress. We had this discussion on this show before. The Congress could easily codify his tariffs into law at any time they want. But they haven't done that. Why is that? Because it's a bad policy and they know it. But they're afraid to stand up to Trump. So they're letting them get away with it. But they don't want to sign their names onto it because that's political suicide. Well, again, they're in a Mexican standoff too, aren't they? Because not supporting Trump is also political suicide. So they're between the rock and the hard place, proverbially. You know, they could codify his tariffs into law, but then that would piss off all the constituents and get them voted out. Or they could not codify them into law, because if the Supreme Court goes by the rule of the law, they're going to tell Trump that these tariffs are illegal, and that he wants to keep this tariff regime in place, he's got to go through Congress to do it. And they're going to be forced to put their names on it. Or not put their names on it and get voted out. No. And like I said, Massey's here. I'm about to call, like I said, I think late, maybe the beginning of next week, I'm going to call Massey's office and find out how I can help Thomas Massey any way that I can. Because he's the only one left. And he just happens to be my congressman. Which I find that amazing too. And it's almost like a weird fate where you have to be forced to confront the fact that you might have to work with people that you don't agree with to save your fucking country. Because I would have never, ever, ever in a million years thought that I would support Thomas Massey, because I don't agree with hardly anything the man says. I mean, politically, his positions. But, like I've said before, he's shown himself to be a man of integrity. And he has principles and he sticks to them. And he's not a nutlicker. That's what's coming, Ken. You haven't thought about that already? That's what's coming. Like, Jimmy Kimmel's gone. Get ready for Late Night with Dean Cain. Or Rob Schneider. That's some kind of some nut liquor that they'll put in. Get ready for it. It's Late Night, I said, with Rob Schneider. Which would be great, you know. That's the problem. Is they try to cloak this into we don't want just one side being represented, but when they squash Jimmy Kimmel, who would they put in his place? Greg Gutfeld, or, like I said, Dean Cain, or Rob Schneider, or whatever pathetic nutlicker they can find that will spew what they want to hear. Which is not clarity or neutrality in any way. It's a war, bro. It's a culture war. They want to control the culture. They want to whitewash the history of this country and continue the white dominance that has always existed in America. That's what this is about. Yes, Alvin says, you're thinking that people have principles. What is wrong with just kidding, of course? No, they don't have any principles. We already went through this multiple times on this show. They've sold out every conservative principle that they ever held dear. Remember, these people used to carry the Constitution in their pocket and hold it up to you. Hey, well, we're patriots. We got the Constitution in our pocket. And now they shit all over the Constitution. They use that Constitution to wipe their fucking ass with it. They don't give two shits about that. It's never been about that. The same thing as ultra-patriotism. It's a mask. That's the way they can paint everyone they don't like and say, you're an enemy, you're not a patriot because you're not like us. It's like, you can be left-wing and love America. You can be right-wing and love America. America is supposed to be a place where we can all think what we want and be free to do so. That's what made this country great. That's what makes the country great. That's it. When they say, make America great again, they mean make it like it was before, where minorities were squashed and white people ran the show. That's what make America great means to them. The most disappointing thing about all of this, to me, is not all this. It's the people themselves. How fast people in America will capitulate after all that talking. After all that. Yes, Alvin. I'm sorry. First time you tuned in, yes, I be trying to logic. I'm sorry if I'm making your brain explode. This is what I'm saying, though. If this was France, shit would be on fire right now, all over the country. Americans aren't really that brave, are they? As I said, in France, they raised the bus fare 50 cents. Left, fuck you, and they fucking set shit on fire. It's like, imagine if they fired their favorite talk show host. They'd burn down the Eiffel Tower. So people in America better stop talking shit about the French, because you're fucking pussies compared to them. They stand up for themselves. They stand up for their rights. They don't let the government push them around. Then people in this country lay down and run a tank right over them. Yes, viva la resistance. Exactly. I might change the name of this show to that at some point. Yes, lay fuck you. That's mine. It's all mine. I wrote that. You're welcome. Feel free to use it. But that's what they do. I don't know if you've seen that. They all put on yellow vests and they set shit on fire. And then the government goes, oh, we're sorry. All right, how about 10 cents? So they're like, all right, 10 cents. And that, my friends, is how you get shit done. See, that's what Trump fears too. That's why he's going after Antifa, because that's who will be opposing him, Antifa. Yes, I coined that phrase. Like the Trumpalo thing. Like, I don't use it anymore, but Trumpalo I used to use it all the time. Because that's what they are. It's like, Trump supporters are just juggalos without the clown makeup. Trump, woot woot! A fucking joke, man. Anyway. Did you get that job, Alvin? God, I hope so. I said, one day I want to come back. Go back to work. I'm not going to stay here. And I said, I don't think. I don't know what I'm going to do. My dad was asking me that the other day. What are you going to do when this all is, when I get this house and all this stuff? I'm like, I don't know. I can't think that far ahead. Like, right now I'm taking care of my mom and that's all I'm doing. No! Jesus Christ. Did they give it to some fucking clown or somebody that's good? Yes, John. So it says, so socialism leads to greater citizens' authority. It makes so much more sense now. Not for the actual morons that support them. Yes. Pretty much. That's why I always talk about all the time on this show is right-wing ideas, if you look at them. They're not really ideas at all. All right-wing ideas are designed to control the behavior of other people. They don't have any ideas of how to solve real problems. What's his idea how to solve crime? National Guard! Like, that's not going to solve crime. Like I said before, you know how you solve crime, or not solve it, but how you reduce crime is by giving people food and things that they fucking need. So if your stomach is full, you're less likely to go out and commit crime because you're not fucking hungry. It's common sense and logic. Well, if I'm going back west, I can visit lots of people on the way, Julia. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely visit. I did that the first time when I moved. I've stopped and met several Facebook friends in real life because I tried to meet the people that have been following me for a long time in person. I met a lot of them. I've been lucky. There's a lot that I haven't met, but if I can arrange it, I like to meet people in person. It makes us friends in real life. We're not just internet friends anymore. I've made it a mission to do that. And I've met a bunch of people who followed me for a long time. I even met Julie, and she was cool in person. Well, she's changed. The TikTok has warped people's minds. That's for sure. I mean, there's a lot of misinformation on TikTok, and if you're a person who wants to hear your opinions blown back at you, TikTok is the place to go. That's why I said I haven't looked at it. I got the TikTok. I upload my videos on it, but I don't go on the TikTok and look at the fucking TikTok videos because it's a cesspool. Yeah, I miss you too. I miss everybody. Tell them that. Tell them I miss them. I do. I miss that job a lot. The other day, something was on, and I was like, that fight was on. Crawford was fighting Canelo at Legion Stadium. I was like, I missed that place too. I would be down on the side of the ring if I was there. Same thing. I'd been in the primo spot about watching the fight. But I'm fucking here. That's probably what I'll do is go back to Vegas because I can get all those jobs back, I think, immediately. And I love those jobs. If I sell this house, I'll have some money, and I won't need like to worry too much about working, 47 hours a week to pay my fucking bills. I don't know. I said I haven't thought about it because I'm here. I'm taking care of my mom, and until that mission is over, I can't think about anything else. I can't do anything else. It's a lot. It's a lot. But today, like I said, she got her pick line out, and she don't have to wear that sling no more on her arm, so she's moving around. And then they said today that they might not even put that shoulder back in her. And I was thinking the same thing. It was like, man, at her age and her health, like they didn't go through all that and put that fucking shoulder metal piece back into her. That's gonna take a whole nother fucking. So they're gonna try to just do therapy and see if she could just live this way without. And I'm here to take care of her and help her out now. So it's not like she's alone. But see, that's why I had to come home. There's no way she could live alone. I mean, all this is going on. There's nobody to take care of her. So if I wasn't here, she would have been fucked, So my uncle said, he was like, when I had come back for Bill's funeral, and I told him, I was like, I'm going to have to leave Vegas and come home, live with Mom, and take care of her. He was like, your mom's been taking care of herself for a long time. And I was like, yeah, I know, but I don't think she can anymore, And then he was like, he was expressed some skepticism. And then when all this happened, he was like, well, you were right. It was like, yeah, there's nobody to take care of her. I'm her only child. There wasn't even nobody to split it with or try to pawn it off on. It's like no, I got to go home and take care of my mom. There was no alternative. It's what I had to do. It's what everyone should do. You're not a scumbag, piece of shit. Do I miss my life in Vegas? Yes. The UFC fights were on. I was like, God damn it, I could be there right now. It's weird to see a place that you worked on TV. That is weird. You're like, man, I used to walk over around there all the time. It's like, I can't watch them. Raiders were on the other night. I was watching. I'm like, man, I could be on the field right now. It's like, same thing. My partner in the TV network, I still talk to him. He's like, man, I miss you, man. See, these people suck. It's like, I'm good on my job. Yeah. It's like, that is one thing I am good at. I'm good at dealing with people. I'm good at talking to people. I'm good at, resolving fucking disputes and, talking down fights. Holding the gate with, for fucking, so make sure that people don't get in that aren't supposed to be there. Like, I'm good at that stuff. Because I can't be pushed around. And I'm not like, what do you call it? This girl that works with me at the store, they just hired her. That she's a runner at Riverbend. She was talking about it. I was like, yeah, one part of that job is you got to find people who aren't like, don't get crushed when they see celebrities. They aren't like, oh my God, there's Usher. Like I don't give a fuck about Usher. That's what makes me good at the job. We talking about minus the chair issue. The guy didn't get crushed, did he, by the chair? It was a riot. What do you want me to do? It's like, I can't stop a riot. I did stop the fight initially between the two dudes. And then when the riot happened, they went at each other. And then when the guy grabbed the chair, I said, I stopped him from crushing him with the chair. So I still I held the line. Like you said, I didn't run. I'm like my fucking partner. I couldn't find. He was gone. I think he ran away. Anyway, I miss you guys. I miss everybody. Tell everybody I miss them. And I do want to come back one day. So please, if they could, to hold my spot for me. I don't know when it'll be, but I will return if they'll have me back. Like I said, I like that job. It was one of my favorite jobs I ever had. And the same thing as everything else. I can get my stagehand job back. I can get my Legion Stadium job back. I can get T-Mobile back. I'm sure Bess will take me back as a supervisor. I mean, I could go back whenever I want, but I can't. I'm stuck. I'm stuck here. And like I said, if they have the national divorce, the West will be blue. I know, Alvin. I miss you, man. I do. I wish that we could arrange some way we could meet, hang out, or I got some vacation time that I need to use up. So I'm gonna start talking to them about it. Now that my mom is off of the IV and her arm is okay, I can probably leave for a few days. So I'm going to try to arrange a trip because there's other people that have been asking me if I'm going to come to Vegas and visit. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate that. See? Alvin says, when I'm ready, my job will be there. See? That's why I said, don't burn bridges. Burning bridges is the worst thing people do in their life. Don't burn bridges. As I said, you can always go back and do the things that you did before if you don't burn the bridge, building relationships with people. Right. John says they turned Metallica away one night at the club back in the day. They want to have the club shut down on a Saturday night. Yeah, exactly. You should have either that or you should have told them you're gonna have to pay us however much money we'll lose from from shutting down half the club so you can look at titties. It's like, okay, if it's gonna cost you $20,000, it's like, we'll let you in, but hey, this is the only fucking strip club within the. If you want to see titties, it's gonna cost you. We'd call it the Lars Ulrich tax. Remember when you sued them little kids on Napster? Yeah, exactly. 25 grand. You want to see titties? Man, these are expensive titties. Hey, man, not a lot of strip clubs around here, bro. All right, I got to get out of here. We're approaching over an hour. I'm glad we found a magic number, and if you're watching me on Twitch, hey, welcome. 2 months of a blank screen. Hey, I'm finally here. So we're live now on 3 channels all the time. So I'm going to get out of here. And I said, remember, stay frosty, man. Keep your eyes open. I said, they're coming. They're coming for everybody. So if they ain't got to you yet, don't worry, they will. I love each and every one of you that watches this show. Saturday night, or Saturday, at 6 o'clock I'll be back, and it's Saturday, hopefully Daniele will come, like he does on Saturdays, and I am Bruce Leonard, this is Bruce Leonard Leans Left. I said I love each and every one of you, thanks for watching the show. I'll be back Saturday, 6 o'clock, hopefully with Daniele. I can't promise you that, but I'm pretty sure he will. He seems to enjoy coming on, so please join us Saturday at 6. I am Bruce Leonard. This is Bruce Leonard Leans Left. Thank you for tuning in, and good night.